Hi! No best for the wicked. I've had a little bit of cake, as you can see. So, hi everybody, Dyan here, Reaveley Towers, doing some paint videos. What I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to use the baby wipe technique, okay? I've painted with baby wipes for years. One of the reasons is you can always find a baby wipe, it's easy, whereas trying to find a brush is harder. I mean, I've got brushes all over, I have them in my selection, I have loads of brushes up here, but you know, a lot of the time it's hard to find a brush, so a baby wipe just makes a really simple alternative to do. I'm just going to show you briefly some quick baby wiped backgrounds in here. I just looked really quickly just before it started. They're nowhere near finished, but this is the type of thing I'm going to do. So there's one started, there's another one. There's another one started, nowhere near finished. What's this one? This one has got loads of different colours. The others are quite coordinated. This one has got loads of different colours. Can you see? It's just got the blend. It's got cools over here. It's got warms over here. What's this one? They were just really quick ones that I did just before. Again, there's another background starting. Under this one actually is as well. Under that one there. And let's have a look what this one is. Again. This is baby wipes underneath there. So just to give you an idea of the type of thing that we'll be doing. So let's find, there's not many pages left in this book. I'm going to work upside down, which sometimes doesn't work because I forget I'm upside down, then I put the whole image upside down. So let's just get this out of the way. I've been to the hairdressers for my birthday. I've been coiffed. So it's always a little bit flyaway. When it's first done. I had it straightened again. I've had it straightened for a while. It's so funny after 50 years to see straight hair. I went to a hairdresser's in America and she said, "Oh, you've got beautiful hair. Have you ever thought of leaving it natural?" I just smiled to myself because 51 years of hair out here, just untamed and natural, is, yes, I have really, but at the moment I just want it straight. So just for a change. So in my journal, I've not got a lot of pages left in this journal really. There's a lot of backgrounds in there, but to show you, oh, they're baby wipes as well. I found this page at the back, so this is the one I'm going to decorate. I have no idea what colours I'm going to use, but I've got some reds and oranges over here, so maybe let's use something completely different. Let's use some greens and yellows over the other side. So I think I'm going to use the fresh lime, cut grass, and then let's have some turquoise in. So I'm going to use those three to start with, okay? And a trusty baby wipe there, and I just take the paint and I just go straight in, and I'm going to put this colour all over. So I just add, I usually put the first colour everywhere. Really quick, really simple to do. There we go. Okay, so can you get a nice smooth coat there? Put the lid back on. Always put your lids on. I know I say it over and over and over, but put your lids on. I'm going to go to the second colour. Excuse me, I'm going to use the same baby wipe. I'm just going to use a different bit. I've got a real frog in my throat. So I'm just going to add, now I'm adding the second colour and then I blend it with my finger tips. That's the bit I use, not my whole hand. Can you see? So I'm going to add a little bit more here. I'm going to blend it in. I just like a subtle blend on there. And I'm going to add some up here. I could add more, I could go darker. If I wanted this darker, you just wait for it to dry a little bit and then you go again. Because my paints build up in colour. So you can see how it's darkened here. But you have to wait for it to dry because otherwise you're just going to wipe that colour off. There you go. And then I'm going to go with a third colour. So this is a coordinated background. I'll maybe do an uncoordinated one in a bit, maybe a contrasting one. Now let me get myself another baby wipe. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. There we go. There we are. And then I'm just going to add a bit more of the darker colour as well. just here and there. Because it's darker, I'm not actually going to add as much. Oops, somebody's phone's beeping. It's not mine. Not that I'd answer it anyway. So, you see? There we go. So you get a nice, soft, blended look through there. Now these baby wipes, just put that to one side. You hear me talking about I use all my baby wipes up in my book. So this is what I do with them. I will take them and I will just add, because rather than just throw them away to start with, you can use up the colour that's in there, and you can get these really nice faded backgrounds that you can add ink and stencils and things like that to later. But if you tried to do this to start with, you'd get really, really dark background. So you can see there's a really simple one. What else have we got? Well, can I add it to something? This page here, I'll add it to this page. I'll come across onto this page as well. So this is a bit of a stencil, this is a bit of a monoprint background, and I just keep going. Excuse me, I just keep going until there's nothing left of the baby wipes. If you haven't got any spare pages, and even on, look at these colours, let's add this green to this colour. If you haven't got any pages left, you know, have you got an old dictionary, have you got a book at the side of you that you can add these baby wipes onto, and you end up with what I call accidental backgrounds. So you have no idea. People say all the time, oh, what were you thinking when you did that background? Ooh, I wasn't actually. But can you see, you can just add in, and you just keep going and going and going. I'll add a little bit more here. Look how much is coming off these baby wipes. Depending how you press them, I think I've got some there you go. Look, I put some colours. I've got some tartan ones somewhere there that did them a bit thicker. So I just pressed a little bit harder on there, just to darken them off. So that's what you do with your baby wipes. If you're going to throw them away, make sure you've got everything off them first to throw away. So then with the background, I tend to stick, whenever I'm doing backgrounds, whatever colours I've used. So fresh lime, cut grass and vibrant turquoise, that's what I use on the top. So I'm going to use those three, and I can also use cut grass, fresh lime and vibrant turquoise in the inks as well. Because if my paints are perfectly compatible with the ink, so you can use the two together. So I usually start off with quite a large stencil, and I'm going to put some ink on there. I usually use the lightest colour first. I'm going to lift, I'm going to flip, I'm going to spritz, I'm going to roll with my kitchen roll. Come over to one of my journals that I was doing earlier. It can be this one. Press off the stencils in my journals. So whenever I'm making one background, I'm building up another background all the time. I think I'll stay on that page just to show you. I always, oops, I've got drops in it. That's because I had some cake. I always clean my stencils by just wrapping it round the kitchen roll. And I am fastidious about cleaning my stencils, and I know people laugh, but my inks are never permanent, remember, never. So they're reactivated with water all the time. So if I picked this stencil up and went to use it, sprayed some water, the ink would come out. I see it online all the time. What can we do to make Dyan's sprays permanent? Nothing. Well, what if I add? No. What if I do? No. What if I spray this over the top? No. They're not permanent. Whatever you put on top, the inks will come through underneath. If you use a white paint, the inks will come through as with the colour through the white paint. If you reactivate them with anything, with a brush or anything, they're going to react, okay? That's what I love about them, the unpredictability of them. Inks are very, very unpredictable, like cats, and that's why we love them. So I'm going to go again. I think I'm going to stick with the same stencil. I'm just going to use the cut grass. So I've spritzed, I've flipped, I've spritzed again. I'll come over to this one, I clean it up over here. Kitchen roll. Clean my stencil. It's very methodical. Spritz, flip, spritz, press off, clean. Oops. Sit. Oh, it's got attached. How's it got in there? There we go. So this is the background so far, quite subtle, and this is how I was building up on that other page. Now I'm going to add some paint. So I'm going to change stencils. Go to the square one. This was one of the newer ones. This looks a bit messy. I wonder if Resident Bit of Glamour has been using this one. Possibly. And I'm going to come to the blending tools. These are the Tim Holtz blending tools. So I'm going to add a little bit of paint and I'm just going to work it in. I only ever add a little. And if you do this and you can't actually see it, then there's nothing lost. But I like to start with, I like layers. So I like to start quite light. Can you see that? I'm not sure. Let's come a bit closer. There you go. I like to do that, and I always then, to me, you can add more, you can't take it off. So I'm just going to randomly, and because I'm sticking to the same colourways, it's not, I can put as much as I want on here. If you can see, here was the ink, here is the light colour, straight to my second one. I've always got a tag or something else around because the stencil is already dirty. So I might as well, you know, before cleaning that stencil, I might as well add some more onto a different page and then clean the stencil. You can see here where I've added it. It's quite hard to see because it is subtle. I do like my backgrounds to be subtle, and then just clean the stencil. I think I'm going to stick with the same stencil again and go for the slightly darker colour. Oops, oh, flick it at me. So therefore I'm going to go on that, because that was a light colour on there, I can go darker without a worry. And it is just a matter of building up the layers. So this is the light colour and this is the darker colour. Onto this one. Now if I feel there's enough on here, because remember this was a background that was almost done when I picked it up, I could just go to another page like this one that I just baby wiped, and I can just add, and this is what I do, I just open my books and I just find something and I stencil it, or I have the baby wipes to it, and this is how my backgrounds appear. Always clean the stencil off. With paint, technically, you don't need to clean your stencil, because once paint is dry, it's not going to come off. It's not going to come off at all. So, you know, when this is dry, this will be permanent. So technically, you don't have to do that. Let's go now with the turquoise. So this is the vibrant turquoise. I'm just going to wipe that little bit there. Again, can you see how little paint I put on? Just try it. Look. And I'm just going to add some more. At the moment, I'm still on large stencils. I usually start with large for the basic colours, and then go down in the smaller ones. So little circle again, straight over to this one. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is what I always do. It's very quiet out there in the grounds today. There's not a lot going on. It's cold, it's miserable. Yesterday was beautiful, but today it's cold and miserable. So so I'm glad I'm staying in. So again, you see, it just cleans up. And now what I think I'll do is I think I'll go to a smaller stencil, but I'm going to stay with that darker. So let's have a look. Let's have, I think I want the arrows. I want the little arrows there. So I'm going to stay with this darker. Now I don't always go straight back and add paint because there's usually plenty still on there, as you can see. How about I now use a bit of ink, and I just go backwards and forwards until I'm happy. Just building them up slowly. Pages left. There we go. Let's put it onto another page in the journal. This is how I make this cake. Just spray it. Don't anybody do that. There's nothing in these inks to damage, but they're not really meant for cake decorating. Okay. So the other thing that I quite often will do is I'll just take an ink and I'll just add some little spots and I'll just let them run. And when I'm happy that they've run enough, I'll just block that one at the bottom, let the others go. There we are. Leave those just a couple of minutes. Can you see where they're just creating a little flower? I don't like to, I didn't want them really strong. If I wanted them strong, I'd have left them a bit longer. But I want them quite light, so you can see I'm just taking the kitchen roll over the top. Now where I've done that, I've got those stripes. It might not show up on here, but I always go onto another page, and sometimes the stripes that have gone on the kitchen roll will come on to another page. So you can see there I've got a really, really lovely muted background. I could then take another stencil and I could either use black or I could use the same colour. What shall I do? I think I'm going to use black just to show you the contrast, and I'm just going to go round the outside. So again, don't use too much on. Can you see? I could go all the way around, but I'm just going to go to there, just put my elbow in it. So again, on this one, I think I'm just going to add one to two corners. I'm going to add them to that. But actually, I'm going to add them top. No, two corners. You see, I never know what I'm going to do. I always say, don't tell anybody what you're going to do, and then they don't know if you've done it wrong. You see, so I've added a bit there. Where was that other lovely green page I was doing on here? Yeah, we'll have some more. We'll have some stars up in the sky. See, black isn't really a colour, so black always goes. So I know I said I was going to do it all coordinating using the same colourway. You can always add black in to whatever. You could go to pages. Let me just find that. Pages that you've already done. I have to remember this book is upside down. And again, just taking the paint off here, just add little bits to different pages. And can you see I'm shutting the book straight away? Straight away I'm just shutting that book. Let's have some on here. Because the stars, I tend to do them mainly up the top of the pages. Is there anything else? Sometimes it'll be pages like this, which I think I've probably finished, but then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to add a couple of stars there, and I'll add a couple of stars there, one in there. Do you see what I mean? So I just, it's quite addictive, just going on and on and on, and then I'm going to clean that. Another day I will probably stick some collage on there, or I will doodle on there. I tend to do all my backgrounds together. So if I'm doing painty backgrounds, I paint them all. If I'm doing inky backgrounds, I ink them all. But I usually have a good session of just making lots of backgrounds. See, look, they come clean, totally clean. I'm not a dirty girl. I know some people are, but I just can't do it, I'm afraid. And there you are, you've got a lovely coordinated background done just with baby wipes and the stencils. Enjoy. Easy when you know how, isn't it?